Welcome back, everybody. Today we got an exciting topic, and it's exciting for two reasons. One, because it's a great topic, but second of all, we did an episode just like this a few days ago, so this is kind of like a follow-up. The other day we did What is Better, ChatGPT or Gemini? If you didn't see that one, you can go check it out. Today we're doing What's Better, ChatGPT, Copilot, and really this is the second question, are they different, right? So we're going to dive into that right now. And the reason we're questioning are they different, because if you didn't know, Microsoft has a big investment into OpenAI, right? Which is kind of why they get access to all of OpenAI's stuff pretty cheap. I don't even know if they pay for it. I don't think they do. And they get like all the stuff like ahead of time, right? So basically the newest version of Copilot is going to have the newest version of OpenAI's ChatGPT or GPT model, GPT-4o. Okay, that is the best we have seen. I've been using it a lot earlier. It is, or recently, is truly the best that they have. It's been really great for everything. One of my favorite things, which I think this was even came out a little before this newest update, is that it remembers stuff from old conversations. So like if I'm talking about TSARP, maybe we're launching a new thing, right? And I wanted to make a post for me. It has all the latest information, which is awesome. But now all that stuff is going to be in Copilot. So it sounds like ChatGPT and Copilot run off the same thing. Are they different? Which one's better? Well, I'm going to get into that. So Copilot, if you didn't know, runs or is an application on your computer, which is awesome, right? You don't have to open up a web browser. It's just there. It can access some things on your computer, right? So settings, it can alter settings, do stuff like that. Sam, you had a few other features too that you had found that it can do, right? That ChatGPT can't do. Can you go a little into that?
Yeah. So, since it's an app and not just a website, it's gonna have voice and computer vision support. So, like, it can open apps, it can see what you're doing, it can hear what you're doing, and it can, like, edit photos and everything, too, now, which is, like, really cool. I don't think ChatGPT can do that.
ChatGPT can't do that.
It can't do it well.
Yeah, so basically Copilot has more integration into your actual computer than ChatGPT does as a website, which is why there's a little bit of an advantage there to Copilot. Now, here's why ChatGPT is good. Well, Copilot doesn't have any of those features on your phone, right? And actually, ChatGPT has more of that stuff on your phone. It has voice, it has camera, where I don't believe Copilot does on your phone, which is why, it's really what device are you using it on. That's the difference. So if you're on you can't even get it unless you go to Bing on a Mac, right? You can't download Copilot on a Mac. So but you can download ChatGPT onto a Mac. They have a Mac app, so it's really platform, right? So Mac, iPhone, Android phone, go with ChatGPT. Unless you're running a Windows device, that's really when you would use Copilot. So that's a little bit of the difference. The question that we pose, right, what's better? I already explained that per platform. Are they different? Yes, they're different. Very slightly, though. It's just those little bonus features that make them different. The main core technology that that really powers both of those are the same. That's GPT-4o. And ChatGPT will always have the latest update of that model sooner than Copilot, because ChatGPT, run by OpenAI, the same people making the models. So That's the deep dive right there. That's the info. Take what you can. I'm sorry I can't give you a straight answer like this is the best. Again, all dependent on really the variables. What are you on? And what device are you running? That's really it. What operating system? So there you go. That's the main topic, but we got a lot of more topics coming later right after the intro, so stay tuned. Those are going to be great. Here we go. Alright, so today's tech history, everyone. Oh god, I just full screened OBS. Today's topic. On this day in 2002, Apple Computer released the 2002 iBook G3, which was a Apple computer. It was a laptop. Again, this is 2002, so this was a little old, right? Nothing too fancy, but a little bulky there, as you can see, but great for its time, right? This was pre-MacBooks. This was the iBook. So yeah, I mean, for the time, I bet people loved it. I don't really know the reviews, but there you go. That's your tech history. This was 2002. On this day, they released this.
Did you know I was born when that was released?
No, you weren't. You weren't. You're 8 years older. No, you're 8 years younger than that computer. All right. Here's the big three. Microsoft Surface event was held today, and here are all the things revealed. All right. I've never known someone that owns a Surface. Actually, I lied. I do. My dad does, but it's a work Surface. All right. So the launch of Copilot Plus PCs, AI PCs, everyone. Oh my gosh, they're coming. It's insane. All right. These devices come with the ARM-based Snapdragon X Elite and Plus processors from Qualcomm and will later feature Intel and AMD chips. I mean, I guess that these chips are supposed to be like great for AI, though I explained the other day, most AI models run in the cloud. I mean, I guess that's why they're really trying to shift towards AI running directly on your device, because if they're making all these processors and GPUs and just CPUs that are meant for AI, they should probably actually use them, which I think is what they're getting to here. The chips have neural processing unit, NPUs, not to be confused with CPUs, GPUs, and TPUs, designed to power new AI features in Windows 11. So this is what I'm saying. A lot of these AI features are going to start, like I was just saying, being run on the computers, especially the ones built into Windows 11. Now, here's the thing, everyone. I think Windows 12, this is the Andrew original opinion, right? I haven't heard this anywhere else. Windows 12 is going to be so super powered with AI, and that actually takes advantage of these new features. I mean, everything. It's going to be the core of Windows 12. Have we heard anything about Windows 12? No, and I think that almost helps support this, because it's going to take a lot of work to get that to actually function, where AI is like the core of your operating system. So I think that's why we've heard nothing about Windows 12. The other thing is, this is the reason they're building these AI laptops, right? Because we have nothing besides a few little Windows AI features coming that will actually use this until Windows 12. And I think there's a bunch of data to support this, right? Of course, this is not confirmed. This is just my random opinion that I came up with, but I think it's pretty good. I think this could happen, and I think it would be awesome if it does. Anyway, let's move on. So it's got those NPUs, great for AI, and it's going to be, Windows Copilot Plus PCs are 58% faster than the M3 MacBook Air. All right.
Wow.
That's good, right? Windows competition with the Mac. The MacBook M3 was, the top of the top for Apple for a little bit. But now, don't worry, guys. 58% faster. That's pretty good. They go back and forth. Next time Mac or Apple releases a laptop, now that's going to be 58% faster than this one. And then, wait a year and it's going to be completely different. But in addition to Microsoft's new Surface devices, Lenovo, Dell, Acer, Asus, and HP are launching Copilot Plus device. What? No. Asus? Not Asus? There's nothing sus about Asus, Sam. Alright, yeah, so they're all launching these Copilot Plus devices, which are just computers that support AI features. So good. I'm glad that they're all advancing here. We haven't seen any of this coming from Apple. I think they kind of said that the M4 was going to be like their AI-powered processor, but Windows and Microsoft are really leading in this space right now. And I think they also mentioned, talking about AI running directly on your device, we were talking about Chrome. I forget what they called it. Mini Gemini Mini, something like that, will be embedded into Chrome, and that will be an AI that runs directly on your computer too. So, we're really shifting towards that. I think that's great. I think there is a place for cloud computing. Cloud computing is amazing, but cloud computing costs a lot, which is why running it on your device would be a lot more cost efficient. Might be slower, but it's a lot more cost efficient. Like I was talking about my Meta smart glasses. Those would not even be close to possible if cloud computing did not exist. If they had to run the AI on that device, device, I would need a backpack to power those sunglasses. But because of cloud computing, being able to send a little request to a computer over in California, and then get a response back, these huge computers. I mean, that's how this runs. But again, expensive. That's why there's a place for both locally run AI and cloud AI. But all right. One of the major AI features available within Copilot Plus PCs is Recall. The new tool runs locally on your device and logs everything you do on your computer, allowing you to search for and retrieve the content you've interacted with. That makes it possible to uncover a conversation you had in apps like Discord, or even a specific PowerPoint slide you were working on. This is really cool. This is also scary for people that do not like their data stolen. Data is a big thing we have talked about on this podcast, and a lot of people do not like it taken from them. People are going to say, is this being used to train new AI models? Is this being taken off my computer and sent to Microsoft? We do not have details on this yet. This is just an upcoming, feature, right? It's not released yet. But I think this is really awesome. If you are the type of person that says, no, take my data to advanced technology, I'm fine with that. I kind of lean more to that side. I think this is awesome because this is going to be able to teach AIs how exactly humans use computers. And then one of the features that this will power is obviously, like, if I'm in a Files app, right, and I rename a file, right, and I'm like, oh, can you bring me to the folder where I renamed that file earlier? Boom, right? Or maybe I'm in Chrome on a website I just used, right, is the first time using it, and I tested it out a month ago, and I liked it, but I never continued on it, and now I forget what it was called. Now I can go over to Microsoft Recall and be like, bring up that website I was testing out about a month ago. I forget what it was called, and it will, boom, bring up that website, because it will know everything you've done on your computer, and will be able to track all that. I think that's awesome,
I love
right?
that so much.
I know. I mean, for forgetful people, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Yeah, I know. I've noticed. All right.
What'd you say?
All right. So Microsoft is bringing Copilot to more areas of Windows 11. The AI assistant will be able to provide suggestions within the settings menu, edit files within File Explorer, or write responses to notifications you receive. This is why I was kind of saying earlier, ChatGPT cannot alter your computer in any way. It cannot run things on your computer. Well, the advantage to Copilot is it can, and it's getting better and better and better, which is why there is a difference there. And this is even more proof, right? Can ChatGPT respond to notifications you get? No. Can it change things in your settings menu? No. Can it edit files? No. So that's the difference right there. And again, this is what we talked about earlier. It's new. GPT-4o model. Alright, the Surface Pro gets a speed boost and an OLED display option. I love big tech conferences. Can I get into that quick? I mean, I think that's what's...
They invite us.
I know, Sam, I gotta call up Satya Nadella, okay, and be like, yo, why was I not there? And he'll probably say, who are you, and how did you get my phone number? And I'll say, no and no. But yeah, my name's no, and no, I didn't get your phone number. Okay, so anyway, the reason I love these conferences is think about all the awesome news we just got. All in one day. Isn't that fantastic? We got a lot more, though, so let me keep going. Yeah, so it's going to get a little speed boost, which is awesome. Again, we talked about the new processors, the Intel Core Ultra processor for Snapdragon X Elite, and plus chips from Qualcomm. Okay, great. New chips there. An OLED display, always appreciated, right? We got Nintendo OLED. I've been wanting to get one. Okay. It looks real crisp. I love OLED displays. My TV, the TV I have in my living room, OLED. You can't get better than OLED. Love OLED. I think I'm going to name my first child OLED. No, that's a joke. That's a thing Elon Musk would do.
OLED Weir.
OLED Weir. There you go. What if OLED Weir starts a podcast? Welcome back to TSARP. My name's OLED Weir. I'm your host, OLED Weir. Yeah, alright. Anyway, great hardware upgrades there. A Surface laptop that's faster than a MacBook Air. Whoa! I mean, that's how you gotta compare it, right? To your competitors. It's not like in gym class when you run the mile run and they say, don't compare yourself to your competitors. Compare to, your last mile time. No. In the tech game, in the business game, you gotta compare yourself to your competitors, because if you're not better than them, why is anyone gonna buy your products? So I think if they came up there and they're like, we're still not as good as MacBook, but we're good, no one would buy their product. So I don't even know why this is a headline. This should be a given that it's better than Apple. Otherwise, why are you releasing it? And then Apple's going to come out next time, and they're going to be better. And that's just how this works. All right, so Adobe, DaVinci Resolve, CapCut, and more are coming to Copilot Plus PCs. This is really, I don't know if you noticed this. I don't know if you picked up on this. What they are pushing here is Copilot Plus PCs. It's basically just AI PCs. This is the whole thing. This is all the conference was about, is the stuff coming to these new PCs. And it's all these apps, okay? Well, one of the things is all these AI-powered apps. Microsoft is partnering with companies like Adobe to optimize their apps for Copilot Plus PCs. Can we abbreviate that to CPPCs? That's a weird acronym. That's C's on both ends and P in the middle. All right. The native ARM64 versions of Adobe Photoshop, Lightroom, Firefly, and Express will be available on Copilot Plus PC CPPCs, S's, CPP. S's. Yeah, no, the acronym isn't any better. Today, Illustrator and Premiere Pro will be available this summer. Those PCs will also benefit from AI features within DaVinci Resolve, CapCut, and all those other apps. Yeah, they're just optimizing the apps to be good with their new PCs. Pretty good. And I think that's it. We got to the end. That was the conference today. That was a lot.
Hey, Andrew.
Yeah.
That was one topic.
I know that was one topic, and we're 50. Well, technically, two. Between the main and the first big three, one of the big three, we're 17 minutes in. All right, has been reopened. It closed.
Yeah, because some things happened.
Oh, okay. Inappropriate behavior. Okay. Interesting. Actually, I know this guy. This guy's on TikTok. This guy right here. Yeah. Anyway, so we had talked about the release of this. It's called, this company that runs these is called Portal, and they make these awesome little displays and they have cameras on them that connects two cities. So, for example, New York City and Dublin, which when I first read this topic like a week ago when they first released this, I thought it said Dubai. And then I realized later on it was Dublin, but, whatever. So yeah, there was some inappropriateness happening in front of the portals, and people did not like that if they were over in Dublin, right, with their children walking through Dublin, that they were seeing the very inappropriateness happening on the other side of the portal in New York. And what were they going to do, What if their little 4-year-olds running around? What were the parents going to go yell at the people over in New York City? What?
I'm 4.
Oh. And that's why they closed it down, because they did not want this happening. There wasn't a lot they could do to prevent it besides close it down. But it's back up. I don't know if they found a solution or they're just like, yep, we kind of gotta deal with it. But all right, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think these are awesome. These portals. I mean, it's a really cool idea. People call it art. Art is such like a vague word. Like, I'm a fan of art, but like I feel like art can be anything. But I think that they market this as art. I think this is awesome. Connecting two cities, just kind of. Like, it's awesome because of its technology, right? That two cities on the opposite sides of the world, you can see right between. It's literally a portal between two cities. I think that's awesome that we have that nowadays. But also just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not useful for anything. It's just cool. All right, moving on. Here's our final of the big three. OpenAI is removing one of the voices used by ChatGPT after users found that it sounded similar to Scarlett Johansson's voice. The company announced on Monday the voice called Sky is now being paused after OpenAI used it when demoing its new GPT-4o model last week. So we brought this up when it was released last week. I did not hear it. But you did, Sam. I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't watch enough Scarlett Johansson movies, but Okay. The question is, did they train it on her voice? I
don't
think
know.
I saw this. So okay, so I saw this in their Discord server today. They didn't mention that it was because it sounded like Scarlett Johansson, but it did say people were asking how they train these models, because why does it sound so close to her? Again, I didn't hear it. This is funny though. So yeah, so the voice drew comparisons to a movie called Her that Scarlett Johansson was in 2013, and people say the voice sounds exactly like her in that movie. No pun intended. That wasn't even a pun. The movie was called Her.
Oh.
And then Sam Altman, being Sam Altman, posted the word "her" on Twitter. So yeah, on May 13th. So, I saw a post by the parody Sam Altman account the other day. I read through it, not realizing it was the parody Sam Altman account. And when I got to the end, I was like, Sam Altman would say all of this? And then I looked at the name of the account. I was like, oh, parody. So yeah, that was not Sam Altman. And I was very confused by the time I got to the end of this. But, I don't know. There's my embarrassing moment from the past few days. All right, now we're on to the speedrun topics, guys. We've made it.
Finally.
All right, so we talked about this when originally when Google I/O happened, but there's new info revealed. Speaking of tech conferences, we've had a lot recently. We had the ChatGPT one, we had the Google one, which a lot of people were hating on, including Sam Altman himself, made a Twitter post about it. That's why I was saying Sam Altman can get a little crazy on Twitter. And then today, obviously, with Microsoft. But alright, so Google is launching a new Android feature to drive users back into their installed apps. Google has a plan to promote Android apps outside of its Play Store. It was launched last week at Google I/O, like I just said, where the company spoke of a plan to re-engage users with apps they already have installed on their devices, as well as new ones, by giving developers a place to showcase their content in a unique way. Already, the company has more than 35 developer partners on board to test the new offering, including Spotify, Pinterest, Tumblr, TikTok, and Shopify. Alright, so let's get a little into this. I think this is cool, right? I've had apps on my phone that I've downloaded, and then I'm like, oh, that looks cool, let me check it out later, because I don't have time now, but it looks cool, I don't want to forget about it. And then what do? I forget about it. So this could be a good thing, right, for remembering old apps you downloaded that you never actually checked out. It could be good for apps, right, that you have downloaded. Maybe you don't know what they do, right? You accidentally downloaded it, or you downloaded it for a purpose, now you don't remember what it does. Or old apps you used to use, you didn't have, then you started to not have a use for it, you just stopped using it, and then in the future you want to start using it again, but you forget it's there. So it's really for apps you've used in the past, or you have downloaded that you don't use anymore. This feature is supposed to bring you back into those old apps. And again, there's already people or already apps, gonna do this, or ready to go. Spotify, Pinterest, Tumblr, TikTok, and Shopify are just 5 out of the 35 that are signed up. Alright, so apparently this new service will automatically organize the best and most prevalent content from apps already installed by users, and then it enables cross-app continuation journeys for nearly every app category. They're being very vague, I gotta say that. Like, basically, it's going to be some feature that just helps to showcase what the different apps can do, but I think it's almost, I guess this is kind of what it's going to look like. It's like a collection of different features from different apps, and then it's going to link you to those apps. But again, very vague. I don't know where this is going to actually be held on your device.
Is it gonna be like a widget or something?
That's what I was thinking. Is it gonna be like a widget? Maybe if we dive more into this. But yeah, they have a whole list of the different apps. They got a lot. Chick-fil-A, YouTube Music, Temu, Pandora, McDonald's is in on this already.
Who doesn't know what these do though?
That's a good question. This should be for like apps that are not. Oh, I've used Blinkist before. This is an app. So Blinkist, if that's even how you say it, is a app for audiobooks. It's like a audiobook summary app. they have all these different like little features, like quick reading stuff and guides and all different stuff having to do with audio content, right? But they've got a lot of features I don't know about, and maybe I signed up, right? I don't use it anymore, but say I signed up, right, for just their main audiobook feature, but now I can go to this new Android feature, right, and it's showcasing another part of the app where I can now listen to podcasts on the app, and maybe that's a new feature I didn't know about or something like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, let me start using the app again. I mean, something like that. I just don't know how practical this is. But I don't know. I don't have an Android phone, so Sam, when it comes to your phone, you're gonna have to let me know. I'm telling you, I talked about this in the other episode. What I want to do, I don't have the funds for it right now. But what I want to do, I want to have one iPhone and one Android phone and carry them both around with me. How sick would that be? Like, like people are like, oh, did you see that new app? And I wouldn't need to say, oh, is it for Android or oh, is it for iPhone? Because I have both. Because there's a lot of things you can do on an iPhone. You can't. I know, it's so practical. There's a lot of things you can do on an Android phone you can't do on an iPhone, and vice versa. So, yeah, maybe one day, maybe I'll do that. There's a lot of billionaires that do that. I think Mark Cuban has 3 phones. Honestly, I think he does. I saw a video, and yeah, he has 2 Android, 1 Apple. But, alright, moving on to our next topic, Apple's next AirTag could arrive in 2025. Apple's first AirTag in 3 years will feature a new chip and better location tracking. I don't know anyone that uses AirTags. Like, I think there's... I mean, they're kind of, it's the Apple ecosystem. They want to suck you in, and then once you start using it, you cannot leave. But if you're not in it, you won't buy any of their products. So I think that this is where it's kind of like confusing Apple's strategy for me. But I guess this is it, right? You buy an iPhone. Say or maybe an iPad, right? You use an Android phone, but now you have an iPad, and then you get a little ad for the AirTag, and you're like, oh, this is great, right? Let me put an AirTag on, my children's lunchbox, whatever, who cares? And now you're like, oh, this is great, but I can only look at it on my iPad. So then you're like, oh, this is so great, but that's a little annoying. But then you go and you buy, what's it called with their Alexa thing?
Google Home.
No, that's Google. Apple. HomePod. I think it's the HomePod. Anyway, you go buy HomePod, which I'm pretty sure is the name of it. And you're like, great, this is great. I got an AirTag, and I got an iPad, and I got a HomePod. But again, I can't look at it on my phone or my computer. So then, what do? You go buy an iPhone. You go buy iMac. Now you sell your Android devices, or you trade it in, and now you're in the Apple ecosystem, and you can't leave because your computer, your iPad, your tablet, your phone, your tracking devices, your home smart system, all Apple. How are you ever gonna leave? That's really Apple's strategy here. But yeah, better AirTags. Where I started with this is, I think there's a lot better trackers. Like Life 360, I think they even go into this. Life 360 is like a tracking app. It goes on your phone. You can track your family members, but they also make these tiles. And I think Tile is A lot cheaper, and I think B does the exact same thing, and you can even use it on Android phones too. So yeah, I don't know. I've never been big into the AirTags because also they're like really expensive, or not really expensive, but overly expensive for what they do. So I don't know. Explore your options before you jump into the AirTags, and maybe don't get sucked into the Apple ecosystem. Surprisingly, I do like Apple, okay? But I only have the iPhone. I do have an iPad. I don't use it, though. It's old. But I really only have a iPhone. But I've been thinking about buying a MacBook. I have a gaming PC. I built it myself. It's pretty good. I haven't upgraded it in a few years, but it's still good. But I'm thinking about buying a MacBook because I really need a laptop because I'm going to be traveling a lot next year. And, if I come up for, to do a hackathon live stream, I obviously can't bring my PC, so I need something to stream on, and I probably am going to buy a MacBook for that. But I also need to save up a little bit of those funds, if you know what I mean.
But Andrew, didn't you use a laptop for TSARP Game Jam the ninth stream. Didn't that go well?
Oh yeah, that went so well in Florida. That wasn't the problem. It was the Wi-Fi, Sam, and you know it. Yeah, I hope my new house has a pretty good Wi-Fi. Maybe that's a project I can work on. I've never been big into like working out networking devices and all that stuff, but maybe I'm gonna start this project when I move and maybe I'll do it. All right. Next thing. Samsung's revealed a 14-inch laptop and two 16-inch ones, known collectively as Galaxy Book 4 Edge. If you pre-order them today, Samsung will throw in a free 50-inch TV. I think that's a pretty good deal. When companies have to do deals like that, probably means the devices aren't good. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. It also means that no one uses Samsung laptops, and now they're trying to get people to start using them. Apparently, this is going to be one of those Copilot Plus PCs, I think. They said, whole line of Plus PCs at its Surface event on Monday, and Samsung's entries are so these will be one of those. I'm just going to call them Plus PCs. Copilot Plus PCs are a way too long name. So, yeah, it's going to be a Plus PC, which is going to be great for your AI needs. I don't know anyone with a Samsung laptop, though. I got to admit. I did know someone with a Samsung Chromebook, though, but not a laptop.
That's a thing?
Yes. Yes, it is. So maybe this is what I'm going to buy. Forget about the MacBook. I don't know. I've been wanting to test out, like, Mac OS. Because it's the same thing with the iPhone, Android. I want a PC and a Mac. I need to be diversified in my technology, guys. But yeah, okay. I probably wouldn't buy a Samsung laptop, but it does sound good. It's got the AI. I don't know. I would never buy. Well, I shouldn't say never. Never say never. But I probably wouldn't buy a pre-built. I would probably build it myself because A, it's cheaper. You can't do that with a laptop, but I'm talking about just PCs. A, it's cheaper, and B, you can fully customize it to everything you want. And if you want to upgrade it later on, it's not that difficult because you built it the first time. You just add in another thing. All right, so finally, some iPhones and iPad owners saw supposedly deleted photos reappear on their devices after the last update, and now Apple has released iOS 17.5.1 to fix the problem. Who cares if you fix the problem? Like, that's not the point. People probably really couldn't care less if they have their old photos that they deleted. Yeah, maybe it's a little annoying. That's not the point. It's where were those? Where were you storing those? Why are your old photos appear like you thought you got rid of those? This is why people say that nothing that you put on the internet is ever really gone. You, again, never say never. Maybe some things that you delete really are gone. But you probably thought if you deleted a phone, yeah, that's a little difficult there. Deleted a photo off your phone, you probably really thought it was gone. Why would it still be there? You deleted it from your from your phone, then you're deleted. Should be gone. It's not on iCloud. You check, don't worry. But no. Apple had it somewhere, and these photos, the reason this comes up, and the reason it's such a big thing, is because some of these photos weren't the best on people's phones. I mean, that just gives you an idea. And so they were very surprised when they got them back. Yeah. That's a issue. I haven't noticed old photos. I don't even delete photos. That's the problem. The only time I ever delete photos is when I get a new phone and I either lose the photos or, I don't know. I'm not a big photo guy. I don't take a lot of photos. I'm not in a lot of photos either. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there's people, I'm also not on a lot of social media where I post photos. Besides, this is my only social media, guys. TSARP. I'm a nerd. But yeah, alright. So for some people, they really noticed this and were really worried. I'm worried just for the fact, why is Apple keeping all these photos? This kind of goes into the whole data thing. I guess this is where my data perspective crumbles. Because I always say that I'm kind of neutral. I don't know, take my data, I don't care. But this one's a little concerning. Because this is photos of you, right? Maybe it's why is Apple keeping photos of you? A little creepy. little creepy. All right, final topics here, or the final two topics. Sam got a 26 out of 28 on his NISMA solo. I've never done NISMA in my life, but I assume that's a very good score.
Yeah, it's a very good score.
You play
And the
clarinet,
voice was
right?
not nice.
What do you say?
Yes, I'm
Wh-
Squidward. Yeah.
Yes. Is that why you chose the clarinet?
No,
Really? Because I feel like you would choose the clarinet because of Squidward, and
that is something I would.
you drew Patrick Star in art class as like a big project. But again, it was pop art, so obviously it had to be a popular character. But all right. So why did you choose the clarinet? Just out of curiosity. It was definitely Squidward.
I don't really know.
No, it was
Let's
Squidward.
just go with Squidward.
Yep,
Let's just go
Squidward.
with that.
All right. When was Niz? Oh, I knew when Nisma was. Yeah, I knew.
Saturday.
Because someone else was there. All right. Well, congrats. Were you saying the lady was mean?
Yeah, she was not very nice.
Horrible. Horrible. All right. And finally, Sam is getting an iPhone for graduation. Yay! You're converting Sam to the iPhone, and it's a beautiful thing when it happens. What? You know which one yet?
I'm thinking 14 or 14 Pro.
All right, good choice. Yeah, I mean, I had the iPhone SE second gen for a while, so you're really jumping up there. That was a scary phone. It was real small, and it was bad. And yeah, the 14 and 14 Pro are very good. They're also very recent. And since they're not the most recent one, you can get a really good phone for pretty cheap because there's not a lot of differences between the 15 and 14. Let me put it that way. So all right, I'm excited. We'll talk about it when you get it too, because the school year is almost over. That's another scary thing. Like, I remember, like, the first few days of school, I only remembered because I see old TSARP episodes just pop up across my screen sometimes. But, like, I remember that episode. And also, TSARP hasn't changed too much at that time. We should probably start innovating more. Well, we have more stuff coming down the line. That's a whole different discussion. But that's the TSARP internal stuff. But we do have more announcements coming in the coming month or so. But, alright, yeah, it's funny. Time flies. Alright, thank you all. This was a long episode. Thank you, Sam, for, I know, it's late. It's almost 7 o'clock. Can you imagine a teen?
It's Miss Thompson's bedtime.
Miss Thompson couldn't tune in today because she's sleeping. Aw, man. Alright, actually, I wanted to check something. Our concurrent viewers were higher when we started than it is now. They still are. I think maybe pushing it back creates problems. So we're probably going to have to keep TSARP normally at 5 o'clock. But I have noticed when we start later, more people can tune in. So, yeah, it's just a time zone thing. Because, like, we used to do 4:30 here. Then it would be way too early for people on the, West Coast, like, still in school. So, I don't know. We'll explore. Maybe over summer we could adjust it. But, all right, thank you all for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Everyone.